Sitting at your desk at 9 in the morning, completely paralyzed. Unable to start a single task despite having the time. This is not a lack of discipline or a motivation deficit. It is a catastrophic system freeze caused by running too many applications. Every digital ping acts as a background process running on your hardware. This system glitch is known as the notification paralysis. Here is the exact mechanical architecture required to unfreeze your system. To unfreeze the processor, we must examine your temporary memory. Your brain possesses a strictly limited amount of active working memory. It is mathematically designed to hold only 3 variables at once. But a single notification banner forces a new variable into the RAM. Your hardware is evolutionarily forced to process the new incoming data. Even if you ignore it, the application remains open in the background. It sits in the RAM, constantly drawing a trickle of power. Multiply this by 50 alerts across 3 different corporate communication platforms. The temporary storage buffer is immediately filled to absolute maximum capacity. The hardware physically cannot hold any more data in active memory. When you try to load your actual work into the overloaded RAM, the system returns a critical memory full error and rejects it. This is the mechanical reason your brain feels physically blocked. The processor has absolutely no available bandwidth to execute the task. The secondary damage comes from the mechanical cost of switching. The brain cannot actually process 2 different visual inputs simultaneously. It must completely shut down one application to load the other. This rapid toggling requires massive amounts of glucose to stop and restart. In computer science, this is known as the context switching penalty. It takes roughly 20 minutes to fully load a complex mental model. You are just reaching peak operational velocity on the data. Then, a single instant message pulls your optical focus for 1 second. The entire mental model is instantly dumped from the active RAM. You must spend another 20 minutes and massive glucose rebuilding the model. It is the biological equivalent of slamming the brakes while driving. This constant stop and start motion absolutely destroys your daily cognitive fuel efficiency. You feel exhausted by noon because you ran a mental marathon, even though you have produced absolutely 0 actual deep work. When the RAM is overloaded and the fuel is depleted, the biological motherboard executes a hard emergency freeze protocol. The internal circuitry becomes a chaotic, tightly tangled knot of unresolved tasks. Every task is connected, and pulling one just tightens the rest. This creates the feeling of intense paralysis when opening your email. The system is receiving too many inputs and refuses to compute. To escape the freeze, the brain seeks an immediate zero-friction escape. Scrolling social media requires absolutely 0 active RAM or switching penalties. It allows the processor to idle, providing a false sense of rest. But the background corporate applications are still open and silently draining. This cycle is universally mislabeled as laziness or chronic procrastination. It is not laziness, it is a critical task management error. Your brain is simply protecting itself from an algorithmic overload. The only way out is a manual purge of the system. You must open the internal task manager and kill the processes. Step 1 is eliminating the passive visual and audio inputs. Place the mobile device inside a drawer to eliminate visual pinging entirely. Mute every single desktop notification sound on the corporate operating system. You must lock the communication software behind a rigid batching schedule. Only open the email application at noon and 4 in the afternoon. Process the data in bulk to pay the switching penalty once. Step 2 is forcing the RAM to load a single variable. Create an environment where only the primary objective is visible. With the background apps killed, the tangled knot instantly dissolves. The active memory buffer clears, creating massive available computational space. The paralysis evaporates because the processor finally has the required leverage. You regain complete control over the biological machine's operational capacity. Do not let corporate software dictate the bandwidth of your hardware. Kill the background apps, clear the RAM, and unfreeze the system.